Hello there and welcome to yet another edition of YES101's Visual Radio. You're joining me, Theruni Karuna Ratna. First up is a look at your headlines.
News First headline.
Ranil urges unity in building Sri Lanka's future. Sajid promises home ownership for all citizens under his presidency. AKD promises major cuts to electricity bills. Namal promises upholding rule of law in presidential campaign. UAE announces amnesty for illegal residents. SLBFE arranges special program for Sri Lankans. In news overseas, Bangladesh faces rising risk of waterborne diseases as floods recede. And in sports, Lewis returns to captain Ireland in home series against England. On to those stories in detail now. Independent presidential candidate Ranil Wickremesinghe has called for collective action to advance the nation, urging the public to refrain from pointing fingers at each other as the country works towards recovery. Ranil Wickremesinghe expressed these views during his address at the Sri Lanka Mahajana Party General Conference, which took place in Kurunegala. The conference was attended by the Sri Lanka Mahajana Party leader Asanka Navaratne as well as others. In his speech, Ranil Wickremesinghe emphasized the need for a unified approach to national development. He said, quote, "There is no other way. We have all suffered. Again, false promises are made. This will be done in 5 years or these taxes will be reduced. None of them will succeed. What happens if the taxes are reduced? Our revenue decreases. When our revenue decreases, the IMF will not support us. Then we will see the same issues once again," unquote. Ranil Wickremesinghe highlighted the importance of focusing on strengthening the country's GDP and overall economy. He cautioned against deceptive practices and misinformation regarding economic matters, saying, quote, "You can't lie about the country's economy. People cannot be deceived by falsehoods about the economy," unquote. Reflecting on past mistakes, Wickremesinghe called for a forward-looking approach, urging all parties to work together without passing the blame. Quote, "We, each party, have made these mistakes from time to time. We have fallen short because of them. Now, without pointing fingers, I would like to say, let's move forward," unquote. Meanwhile, presidential candidate of the Samagi Janabalawege Sajid Premadasa has vowed that his government will provide every citizen with ownership of a house. Now, he made this statement at a public rally held in Nachadua, Anuradhapura. The rally saw the participation of frontline workers from Premadasa's party, as well as representatives from several parties affiliated with the Samagi Janasandhana. In his address, Sajid Premadasa emphasized his commitment to principled politics and policy. He outlined his vision for national development, which includes a focus on both rural and urban areas. He said, quote, "Our policy is to develop villages and cities and build a country. Specifically, our policy is to implement new programs to provide land and houses to those who do not have them. We have devised housing programs for various sectors, including rural, urban, upland plantation, lowland plantation, fishing, middle class, urban areas, and disaster-affected populations," unquote. Now, he added that the SJB has compiled a national housing policy so that every citizen of Sri Lanka can have their own home. He also declared that he will definitely ensure this right. Meanwhile, the National People's Power's presidential candidate Anura Kumara Dissanayake has said that electricity bills will be reduced by 1/3 under his administration. He made this statement during a public rally held in Mount Lavinia. Anura Kumara Dissanayake said, quote, "There is no point in building a country if the people are oppressed. We are developing the country step by step. First and foremost, we will provide relief to the people," unquote. Outlining his plans during his administration, he said, quote, "We will reduce the electricity bill by 1/3 in a very short time. For instance, if the current bill is 3,000 rupees, it will be reduced to 2,000 rupees. A bill of 9,000 rupees will be cut to 6,000 rupees. By eliminating theft, reviving the LNG-powered power plant system and prioritizing renewable energy, we can further reduce electricity bills," unquote. He stressed that the National People's Power's government will make this happen. He added that the NPP will work to reduce fuel prices as the current prices are unjust and inflated due to fraud. He said, quote, "The government has imposed heavy taxes and we are committed to easing this burden by addressing fraud and corruption, ultimately providing oil at a lower price." Our priority is to restore the lives of the ordinary people to normalcy, unquote. Still in local news now, presidential candidate of the Sri Lanka Podujana Perumuna Namal Rajapaksa outlined his commitment to upholding the rule of law and delivering on practical, achievable goals. Namal Rajapaksa emphasized the importance of clarity and honesty in political promises. He said, quote, "We have a vision and firmly believe our goals are practical. When we look at some current policies, it seems that once one person proposes a policy statement, another quickly counters it. Whether it's a part of a campaign or an adopted policy, it's often unclear and lacks feasibility," unquote. He criticized the trend of integrating policies from various organizations and campaign promises that are not grounded in practicality, adding that his party promises only what can be clearly achieved. Namal Rajapaksa pledged to protect and enhance various freedoms and the rule of law across the country. He said, quote, "We assure you that we will work to safeguard economic, cultural and societal freedoms along with the rule of law from Dondra Head to Point Pedro." Taking a look at more local news now, the United Arab Emirates has declared a new amnesty program for individuals residing illegally in the country. This initiative will be in effect from the 1st of September through 31st of October 2024, offering a reprieve for those currently in violation of visa and work regulations. During this period, individuals who are in the UAE without a valid visa or who are working outside the scope of their authorized employment will be permitted to leave the country without incurring fines. This amnesty aims to provide an opportunity for individuals to rectify their status without facing financial penalties. In response to this development, the Sri Lanka Bureau of Foreign Employment has announced that the Sri Lankan Consular Office in Dubai will offer special services to the Sri Lankans affected by this amnesty. The consulate has established a dedicated program to assist its nationals in navigating the departure process and ensuring compliance with these new regulations. Let's now take a look at international news.
International news.
Authorities in Bangladesh are bracing for the spread of waterborne diseases and racing to get drinking water to people after devastating floods last week that left at least 54 people dead and millions stranded. As floodwaters recede slowly, many people remain stranded and in urgent need of food, clean water, medicine and dry clothes, especially in remote areas where blocked roads have hindered rescue and relief efforts. The Bangladesh Meteorological Department said that flood conditions could persist if monsoon rains continued and water levels were receding very slowly. Coming up next is sports news.
Sports news.
Gabby Lewis has recovered from a quad strain she sustained in the opening ODI against Sri Lanka earlier this month and will lead Ireland in their white ball series against England at home. Regular captain Laura Delaney is yet to recover from the ligament injury she sustained on her ankle in the second T20 international against Sri Lanka. Alice Tector, who made her ODI debut against Sri Lanka, earned a medal T20 international call-up. She is the sister of Ireland men's batter Harry Tector. Una Raymond Hoey, who picked up an injury in the first T20 international against Sri Lanka, returned to both the white ball squads. She had returned to international cricket after a 5-year hiatus earlier this month. Well, that's a wrap of this edition of YES101's Visual Radio. I'm Tharuni Karunaratna. Thank you for watching.